Welcome viewers. One of the most fundamental due process rights in America is the Fifth Amendment right to refuse not to incriminate yourself, a right former President Donald Trump exercised more than 400 times in a deposition for New York Attorney General Letitia James fraud lawsuit, video of which was released this week. In this video we will break it all down for you. But before we continue, please take a minute of your precious time to hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell to get the latest update from us. Anyone in my position not taking the Fifth Amendment would be a fool, an absolute fool, said Trump in the video, after years of publicly claiming that only the mob uses the Fifth Amendment. But while Trump might have protected himself from self-incrimination, that doesn't mean that taking the Fifth couldn't do him any legal harm, wrote Jordan Rubin for MSNBC on Wednesday. Specifically, he said, in civil cases, juries are allowed to infer liability from taking the Fifth, which is what Trump is facing. Why can invoking the Fifth Amendment be used against someone in a civil case, but not in a criminal case? Said Rubin. First, let's look at the text of the amendment itself, which states that a person can't be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. And in 1976 the Supreme Court observed that in criminal cases, the stakes are higher and the state's sole interest is to convict. In that same case, the justices noted the prevailing rule that the Fifth Amendment does not forbid adverse inferences against parties to civil actions when they refuse to testify in response to probative evidence offered against them. So while everyone has the right to invoke constitutional protections against self-incrimination in criminal cases, Trump shouldn't expect those protections when he faces a civil jury this fall, concluded Rubin. Though, of course, he also faces several criminal probes in which, as the Supreme Court put it, the stakes are higher. James' fraud suit against Trump and his family seeks $250 million in damages from unlawful proceeds that violated state and local laws, and also seeks to ban him from doing business in New York. Trump initially responded with a countersuit that attempts to shield his revocable trust from James, but later dropped that litigation after a federal judge warned that it was frivolous. A newly released video shows Donald Trump pleading the Fifth Amendment hundreds of times in a deposition, and a legal expert explained how that could be used against him in court. The former president was finally hauled in to testify last year in the $25 million fraud lawsuit filed against a Trump organization by New York attorney Letitia James, and he exercised his constitutional right against self-incrimination nearly 450 times, but MSNBC legal analyst Andrew Weissman said the move carried potential risk in a civil case. I agree with him on the point of taking the Fifth, Weissman said. It's important to remember everyone has a right to the Fifth if a truthful answer would tend to incriminate you. In a civil case, it can be used against you, unlike in a criminal case. One other thing I would disagree is when he is saying there's this witch hunt, he left out jurors, Weissman added. The Trump organizations went to trial, they had their day in court. They could present all of their evidence, and 12 jurors, that's everyday citizens, found beyond a reasonable doubt that there was a multi-year tax conspiracy that his organizations were involved in, and there was evidence he knew about it, as would make sense. That's one more reason for him to be asserting the Fifth Amendment. Please, what is your take on this? And remember to subscribe as well. Thanks for watching.